I'm Dr. Angela McKaye, chiropractor and naturopathic physician, and it's Friday favorites time. So we talked a little bit about breakfast. I have some good breakfast ideas for you. I talked a little bit about miso soup and congee, so we've got some links for that. I also really love egg cups. So they're like mini quiches that you make and put in muffin tins, and my daughter and I make them on Sunday so that we have them quick to go and put in the microwave or heat up or just eat cold, and have that in the morning without too much fuss. If you have trouble in the mornings, you don't know what else to do, you don't want something heavy, smoothies are a great option. I don't like a lot of overly processed foods, but in smoothies I put oats in them. If you're grain free, you don't have to do that. You can do protein powders. Again, I don't like highly processed stuff, but a little bit of protein powder won't kill you. I do recommend pairing that though with some protein, so a handful of nuts is great if you don't have a lot of time for anything else. Crock Pot Oatmeal, which I talked about already. You put in 1 cup of oats for 2 cups of water and cook it on the crock pot on low. If you have only got a really big crock pot, like a chicken or turkey size crock pot, you will not probably be able to use that crock pot for this recipe, because if it's spread too thin along the bottom, you will end up with just a big old oatmeal crisp thing that is inedible. So I have a separate, smaller, like 1 quart crock pot for this that I make the oatmeal with. Otherwise, some tips that I use frequently with people are apple cider vinegar. So sometimes this aids in digestion if your stomach acid is a little bit low. I like to mix 1 tablespoon in 1/3 cup of water and have that about 20 minutes before eating to stimulate your own stomach acid and digestive juices to start coming online. If this aggravates your throat at all or gives you heartburn in any way, you want to stop doing it. But for the most part, this can be really helpful as a digestive aid. Swedish bitters or digestive bitters are another thing that you can use instead. So if the apple cider vinegar doesn't work for you, bitters also stimulate your digestion and can get things going that way to make your digestion better. Finally, I want to talk about papaya enzymes. You may have seen these on the shelf. I like them a lot better than most other things for the occasional heartburn. I don't get heartburn generally myself, but I did have it during the 3rd trimester of my first pregnancy, and it was miserable. So papaya enzymes are generally very safe. They're safe to use in pregnancy, and they taste kind of like sweet tarts, and you can get them on the shelf at New Seasons or Whole Foods, or maybe even Freddy's in the natural section. So those are tasty and they work really well. And then finally, if you're really struggling, sometimes a fast is in order. So if you've got a lot of inflammation going on, we've talked about fasting in another video when we were talking about detoxification. And fasting can be really important if you're having a lot of inflammation, you're feeling absolutely miserable, you want to shift your diet from what you've been eating to something else completely different, and you need something as a transition. Just giving yourself a digestive break for a day or 2 can be really beneficial. Now, fasting doesn't mean juice fasting, because that's generally a lot of sugar, and you do want to stay hydrated, so you want to drink lots of water during a fast. If you're feeling terrible, stop doing it. But over time, if you fast long enough, it actually stimulates your body's manufacture of stem cells, and those stem cells come back online and do a lot of repair work for you and can be very beneficial that way. So there are times and places when a fast is appropriate. Generally speaking, if you feel like you need a fast, then I would really recommend having that be supervised by a physician. But think about it as an option if everything else is not working, and then talk to somebody, a professional physician, who can help you through it. All right, those are my Friday favorites. I will talk to you again next week.